We're going to be doing a lengthy meditation. And we can do it in 2 phases. It was all one meditation. Did somebody go to bed with Metatron? Yeah. A very good boy. He's wonderful. Align with that being now, please. And with this one, particularly the Mahatma, for the Mahatma is anchoring more and more and more on this little planet. And with principles that Brian has discussed with you, we have discussed with you his experience. You'll find her coming into the right side of your body. Do not be shocked. It doesn't matter. Your experience will be your own. We're not going to tell you what will happen with you. But the coding will all be different. For no 2 people are coded exactly the same. So for the purpose again, we're going to call on the Mahatma Energy and bring it in, for this is you, at whatever connection you view yourself within it. It's the totality of our knowledge of this cosmic day. Our knowledge, gentle ones, of this cosmic day. So look to your source star, please. Know that this is your place of birth. And know, as we did yesterday, that you were birthed out of one of those 12 monadic vehicles. And you've had divergent experiences. Some of you have worked with other rays. In fact, all of you have. And all of you have had different experiences, allowing the magnificent mosaic that is before us now, in group, as one. We'd like to invite everyone, every being that is us, the totality of the 352 levels of self. And we open to this and we trust, for we know shift is very, very rapid. Change is very, very rapid. Acceleration now of our atomic structure will allow, and I repeat this, will allow the body not only to go into light, which is in the past been referred to as 6th initiation, within a physical body, but all 5th dimension, 6th dimension, and the connection with your monad is now available within this body. So the gap, the perceived gap between consciousness vibration of earth is hastened, and the vibration of our beingness is also hastened. And do not concern yourself with implants, or people are going to take these implants out of you. If those who are working with light have etheric implants, for heaven's sake, leave them there. They're there for a very good reason. We're not talking about grays and what it is they're doing with the number. If you work with light, you stay in light, and you will not be beguiled into these cults or darkness. So from the source star, we begin to magnify our self collectively as the I Am, which we call Mahatma. And we realize that this table that we looked at yesterday, the 12 represents the undifferentiated source, the source that we would have to refer to at this level of consciousness as all that is. It isn't, but that's as far as we can bring in at this time. The individual monadic vehicles do not represent the undifferentiated source. It's the 12. And as you view the 12th number in the center, you know that this one shifts and creates its own cosmic day often. And the 11th number becomes the 12th, and so on. And I want you to relate to those monadic vehicles, for this is the journey, gentle ones. This is the journey, and see yourself with one or more. And out of this comes your ability to create and magnify all 12 rays. Once you have perfected them, you will work with all of them. And then you create your own cosmic day. It starts always with the universe. So experience is absolutely essential, both in darkness and in light, and you've had experience on both sides. Otherwise, as Brian has said to you, you could not. You'd be having conversations, Source would be having conversations with itself. For there would be no contrast, nothing abstract, nothing contentious. Light as this group sits with this council, please now. And we know there are endless numbers of cosmic days, unlimited numbers of cosmic days, and we see this journey. And we have a sense of the opening from these 12 as the rays, 12 rays come in. And this is literally the creative ability that these administrators have to fulfill and convey to all creation love and abundance. And it's predicated all on love. For in the final analysis, it is eternal, ongoing love in the profoundest sense that this creation evolves through. It's love, nothing else. Love that we've not understood. Some of you have a sense of it in the state of bliss from time to time. And that is all the time, this level, much, much more. So this is who you are. This is who you are. This is your place of birth. And we're going to align with one of the 12. If we're in any doubt, go with the 12. We're in bodies already. Let us take this 12, view it as strands, everyone, please. We take a strand with us. When we come down this magnificent channel that you have created through the 8th dimension, through the 7th dimension, doesn't matter if you're perfectly correct on the ray, that does not matter. And you have a number for this. We come down slightly less than midway to the 7th dimension, please. We greet this great mountain, the light, love, we call the Oversoul, the Oversoul. As a group, there is no pyramidal system here. Thoughts are everything, and they create immediate sensation. The group is encompassed as if it walks through a magnificent cloud. We recognize this soul as the 10th ray, and the 10th ray oversouls, overshadows the oversoul. And we're very aware of our connection with the monadic vehicle here. But we have this strand, we have this connection. It's very, very simple for us. We know our connection, our place of birth, our individuality from the source. And what monadic vehicle we have worked with, will work with, or are working with. Very still, gentle one. Breathe in this magnificent omnipresence that is you. You do not get a sense of separation in any of this. There is no fear. There is no judgment. There is joy. You find humor. Yes. Everyone seems to know what they are doing. There seems to be no confusion whatsoever. So in this unity, in this oneness, one can still feel their individuality. And this individuality is not the higher mind, as some suggest to you. It's a consciousness that we do not have words to describe. It is an omnipresent consciousness. There would be more than a higher mind. But it is us. You see yourself individually. And you see yourself with greater wholeness of whom you are. Again, the amoeba, as it expands, engulfs not only the oversoul, the monadic vehicle, within this family called Mahatma, but the balance of the male and female polarities here is very, very evident. There is no separation. There's perfect bonding. These are not sexual areas. The sexuality is not a part of this level of consciousness. It's need to experience that. For love is bountiful enough. It's in this love that we now feel individually as the Creator. And that's what you remembered before you were birthed into individuality from the undifferentiated source. Before you were birthed from the undifferentiated source, you felt part of everything. And this is why many look past to the beginnings of some anger, saying they never wanted to do this in the first place. They never wished to journey out. So we release that sense of abandonment right in the beginning, that sense that says I was pushed out of Source, so this is not what I wanted to do. Individuality is not what I wanted to experience. Because you're experiencing for yourself, because yourself and your God Source were one. I liked being in the womb of creation. I am not comfortable here, and I know that that is an absolute untruth, for I cannot carry that with me. And I release that pattern that says, I am separate. Profoundly, gentle ones, for this is a great one with you. I release that pattern that says I'm separate from Source. I release the anger of separation because God pushed me away. For there is not one of you who does not carry that pattern, and it's so deeply seated that we don't wish to look at it. And the basis of father-mother relationships of all types are predicated on this one. That profound pattern of being rejected. Release it, gentle ones. Breathe in. And we carry it forever with a mother or a father or a child. And its parentage originates here with your God Source. As a primal individual, as a beginning. And heal and bond now, please, lovingly, with the divine order of who you are, not with what you perceive yourself to be. And you begin to realize there can be no intermediaries. Man cannot fill this gap between the God Father and myself as the son or the daughter. We've looked everywhere to heal ourselves because of this separation, this perception, and we've turned to almost anyone to heal us. And that healing can only be done within oneself, for that is the connection, the infinite connection, that's part of the divine. Breathe in gently just once. Forgive all alienation. Forgive yourself all alienation from your divinity, your sense of separation. And I know I was not pushed out of the womb. This at some level of self was my decision, at least when I was individualized. And in this individuality, I address that I can release the pattern of betrayal. Read it out, gentle ones. It's big one with all of you. The sense of separation from your God source, your primal father, mother. So much stems from this. So much of our sensitive alienation comes from being separated, from being pushed out through the door that you didn't want to leave. The womb of creation and being individualized. For it seems to you that this is where all your problems began. It was so much more comfortable to be in the womb of creation, experience everything creation experience. Your God's source experience. Now look at that spark that is you, the collective you, at this level. And realize that we are healing, that we are making whole that connection. So we establish our origin. We establish a place of birth. We establish our function within a monadic vehicle. And within that monadic vehicle, we work as a family. And there are trillions to the hundreds and hundreds of powers of such beings in each monadic vehicle. We know that this level, there is great unity, where they have not experienced profound duality. Breathe in as one, you can see yourself individually, and it's beyond the higher mind. Still, in this stillness, you feel the sense of separation. See that strand with whatever monadic vehicle you have chosen around the table. The golden strand that connects you now on this journey. We know that we're less than midway in the seventh dimension. And we're connecting with a vehicle level that has sight duality. It's very our oversoul and the sense. Breathe that in, gentle ones. And know that we are still connected. We are still connected with this strand. You'll notice everything seems to be in 12, does it not? In 12. There's a reason for this. In 12 is born. And you firm that mosaic with that thread. You thread it very, very deeply into your existence, your individualization, with this 10th ray and your oversoul. Go up and down that line, gentle ones, and make sure it's very, very, very secure. Good. Release. really bond it, really anchor it to your monadic vehicle with your higher self, your oversoul. All right, expand and breathe out. You've made the union, and we are releasing those patterns that have been so destructive for all of us. Our sense of separation from God Mother, God Father. Deeply, gentle ones, breathe in and make absolutely certain that you have made this strong tie with your place of birth, so you know your origin, and you have a sense, possibly, of which ray you work with. And that does not matter, for you've all worked with all the rays as part of your learning. Oh, yeah. Breathe it in and secure this with a few affirmations now, please. God and I are one. That the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost in Scripture on earth is inaccurate. This is the association. This is the link. I'm prepared to make this realization for self and the collective self often. In my desperate moments of loneliness, I will address this connection and reassure my well-being, my connection with my God Source, for as a matter of my good health and my intentions, I have to honor this, for I know this is who I am. I honor this, for I know this is who I am. Wonderful. Take this group, this masses now, those aspects of self that you're reuniting with, that are you, gentle ones, that are you. They have not as explored deeply as your personality has, but they are you. And they get the great response that you experience as you connect with the totality of who you are. It doesn't matter whether it's negative or positive. Most of it here is illusion. Be down now, please, to the boundary, the sixth, and the seventh. And as a group again, we look to this bridge, and we maintain this connection with our monad, our monadic vehicle. And the golden chain that connects with that monad is still as strong. Wonderful. Feel light, feel free, breathe out anything that's divisive or extraneous that you cannot associate with your God Source. For these levels of consciousness, there is profound light and love, and we do not have the language third-dimensionally to explain it to you. Your fondest wishes, your fondest desires, heightened requiem and vision now. Review the wondrous Melchizedek now. He's able to cross this bridge the last 2 years. He can help us now. Hold on to that golden strand, gentle ones, as we greet Melchizedek and give him a connection to this strand that we have experienced. Embody Melchizedek. Embody the other 43 universes who are equivalent or like Melchizedek. Invite them, gentle ones. You must invite them. Invite them, please. Good. Very good. Have a sense of incredible communion because you're linking spiritual with matter. And this link is profound and it is available to all now. For you know, within this 10th, 11th, and 12th ray, we carry the microtron with the Mahatma, this balance, God, Goddess, the all that is, from our perspective. Melchizedek invites you to look, invites you to touch, for here you have a different density in the 6th. And it's very wondrous. And he tells you that this is your creation, that all of you have worked at one level or another at the creation of this, and some of you on other universes. And you have a sense that this is true. You don't feel less than the collective body. In fact, you feel you are the monetic vehicle that's looking at the physical realm. Breathe in your splendor. Breathe in what you are. Breathe in your creative abilities. And do not be bewildered at how complex they seem when it is a part of you. You feel fully nurtured. You begin to get a sense of duality in alternate extremes, the beginning of opposites. You get a sense that you have aspects of self that are less than light and aspects that are profoundly light. And you realize that this is required for your God source to experience at all. One isn't good and one isn't evil, as you're led to believe down here. It's necessary for experience, and you leave it at that. Your collective self has chosen to experience now through light within this group. And you've waited a very, very long time. You have a sense of that. You have a sense of being here before, of working at these levels, six-dimensionally. It's important to continue this link across this bridge with the ninth ray, the blue-green, please. And watch as your oversoul runs towards we as a group and ignites with what we call the higher self. There is no sense of separation. There's no delay whatsoever. They bond. They unite. And even though in our view down here, in this heavy density called Earth, we feel the separation between these. When they greet and meet, there is no separation. It's a reunion that has always been known would happen, but much is played out here now. You've seen things played out in the now. All of creation and new creation. All in the now, and forever expanding its consciousness. As you look out, you will see new galaxies being formed. You will see the new star systems being formed. Nothing is fixed. It's ever evolving as you are, as all of creation is, and that is the only constant. Evolution itself. And it's glorious to behold the light, the colors, and realize that we are part of this, and this is our creativity, our creative ability. There was no difficulty whatsoever with higher self to unite with oversoul, and for this we are very, very grateful that the string remains very, very strong with the 12, the council, our monadic vehicles, as we come into the fifth dimension, please, the galactic realm. And here you have a very strong connection, because many aspects of self are uniting with who you are fifth dimensionally. Fifth dimensionally, you have a very powerful connection here. For recently, all aspects of this level began to unite with Earthlings, those who were conscious enough, those who were light enough, those who had the clarity and the vibration, always related to vibration. Breathe, gentlemen, please. Have a profound sense of pink, cosmic love. The Galactic Connection is very profound. I want you to get a sense of this. Breathe it in deeply, for this is what you're penetrating from Earth, and you've been doing this for some time now, for a number of years. Since your harmonic convergence, you've been beginning to connect with these aspects profoundly. There are so many beings here that I can't express to you. Many of them you can see. With that intuitive self, have a sense of. We speak of Melchior, there are many, 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 many more. And all the way coming down, we've encouraged the angelic host. We've encouraged all aspects of self. And you remind yourself this now, please. In the Galactic Core, I want you to visualize the center where you go at night to learn, or at times in recreation, or where the soul body or your etheric body does travel to. It is very, very different than Shambhala, where you've gone in the past. This is not the same level of consciousness whatsoever. And you better identify with this level of consciousness than with Earth, for its realities seem more profound. You have memories of being full co-creator. Full co-creator. And I want you to heal that gap between the lives on Earth, which may have been 250,000 years, and who you are at this level of consciousness. And welcome it within your heart, please. Welcome this reconnection with the beginning of who you truly are. For the divine spark of the infinite was never intended to fall into atomic structure. It was never intended to fall below the Christ itself, the absolute boundary between the fourth and fifth, or as we have indicated, Kilroy. That is the beginning of one's Christ itself. And in all the plans from the Creative Council, we never felt man would fall below or wish to experience beyond his Christ self. And the most profound example in this cosmic day of the fall is played out on this little planet, Earth. I'm not saying it's not a wonderful experience we are forced to look at, but it has almost gone too far for it can destroy this universe. And the few among us are programmed appropriately with all of the assistance in creation to carry this forward. And when you realize the coding, the effects that are going on with all of us, the touching in briefly yesterday into the fifth dimension and knowing that takes the group to the 160th power. 360 with the sixth dimension. Then you begin to see the process of magnification and how a few will reassemble and assume their responsibilities as light. Light has to reflect off something. It has to reflect, for there is no light. Darkness is non-existent. And in that light it must reflect through you, must be monitored through you as a vehicle. And some of you feel that you're being put upon a little and used disproportionately, and O'Brien does. And to some extent this is true. But there's not one among you who did not ask for this journey and receive it knowing the outcome in the now would be of a positive nature, and we were much ahead of schedule, much ahead of how it was played out in the now. If that seems to be in contradictory terms, please look to it this way, that only in slowed down light can you change the outcome of the now. And this is what we are doing, this is what a few are doing. And those numbers will increase magnificently. So let us look to the Christ itself, please. That boundary, this is so important, to touch this magnificent golden chain. To the Christ itself, the one that you were never to fall below, and to whom you've given your power externally. It's a totally false belief. This is the lowest level of consciousness God-man was ever to fall into and become, to unite with. And slightly below this, we see the primal soul between this Christ child, that is you. We seek the Christ child because of its honesty, its integrity, its unconditional love. Least ye be like a child, as a child. That's some truth. Call it that child, and remember it's such a thin division as the Christ itself encompasses, remember, between the fourth and fifth dimensions. Primal soul is in the upper four. You could say the seventh grand division of the fourth dimension. And the causal body touching into that would be the sixth grand division of the fourth dimension. And allow the Christ itself now to envelop with all levels of consciousness now the causal body, which is the higher mind, the egoic body, which is the soul. The Christ child becomes these two. Concentrate on that very deeply, gentle ones. This is what was intended to happen. These envelop the Christ itself, the soul, and the causal body, one. And now in this envelope, bring in all aspects of self-being. The Council of 12. The strings which you best associate with the thread of consciousness, with the 12. The envelope within the envelope of Oversoul and Higher Self, and now the Christ itself. Breathe, gentle ones, you're doing wonderfully well. Feel, see, and know that this is happening. Feel it for all of creation, for all of humanity, for all kingdoms on this beautiful planet. And anything below this level was not intended, not the source made a mistake, and yet it will admit there are misjudgments. So we as source are experiencing the fall of man beyond which your God's source anticipated. So it's very valid, it just has to be healed. And it's in this healing, gentle ones, that we expand our consciousness now and say, I am divine, I know this to be so. I see absolutely no separation between my God source and myself as a personality. I see absolutely no separation between any of the 12 rays which envelop and allow for creation. I see very clearly the principle of undifferentiated source, of the counsel source, my beginning, my birthing as a personality, as an individual. I see these monadic levels, I see and embrace the principle of oversoul, of higher self, as we go into the physical realm of dimensions. I breathe that in deeply, for I feel very proud to be a part of all of this. And the collective self has been very, very much involved, because you cannot separate the collective self from our creative abilities. To be able to embrace higher mind and primal soul within my Christ itself now, I glory in this. For my Christ child is so bountiful, is so wondrous, and I see the magnificent connection with the union of Godhead, the oneness. They all vibrate at different levels of consciousness, but I better understand who I am as Christ. I find no fault nor blame with teachings for darkness, for power, or for political persuasion have misaligned these truths. And many of us have suffered. I say to you, forgive all, for you cannot carry this. And it's not worthy the gentle breed of the goodly company now to come with anger with anything. And least of all the darkness around them. I see electromagnetically how persuasive this energy can become, for it magnifies, and it does become very much one with all that is. It's very contagious. And even though I may not be able to see the electromagnetics and how they unfold and what the principle is, I honor what is being said to me, for I know that it is possible without saying one word. For the coding is such now that will permeate all of darkness and raise the consciousness on this earth, and for those that it doesn't, that is fine also. That's not for me to judge. They will go wherever they go for further schooling. And that is all fine. We know that we have secured the earth for those that need stay here. And those that are with light need not concern themselves about grays or about blues or being about jelly beans or people that look like ants or people that look like dragons. We erase that. For it is not part of our reality. We will deal with it when it comes, or we will be prepared. We will be prepared. And this ignition now with the Christ child is glorious. So you better understand the causal body, the higher mind, the egoic body, the primal soul body, and how you must raise above those two to become truly Christed, which is the beginning of the fifth dimension. Only stay in the key that I give you, please, and stay shortly, and resonate and bring together, if you will, causal body, egoic body, soul body, and your true body, your Christ itself. Gentle ones, bring gloriously together as one. Realize this is the boundary. It's not improper, it's what happened. And many of us in frustration, working time and time again to try to improve in this matter, were disconnected a very long time ago from this possibility, with what we would perceive as mischief makers recoding our DNA with two strands. Again, I view it as three. I, me, we. And they relate totally to the three lower chakras. But the Christ child, the one we are, I like to do this with you because it begins to have a semblance of order, a semblance of condition that is appropriate, that you can assimilate and begin to integrate the Christ child. Christ child, take into your thymus, gentle ones, breathe it out, make it very large and comfortable, light the fire. Breathe. Take a knee. Michael, Raphael, Oriel, and Gabriel, please, and light the corners. It's a wonderful room. It's your room. I want you to take in the 12, whichever monatic vehicle you work with, into this room. That golden strand comes forth into this room. You can often traverse this channel up and down. Take on all aspects of self from various levels now. Know that we have been encompassed by not only the 12th, 11th, the 10th spiritual rays, but the overshadowing of the 10th ray, and our oversoul are very much embodied, and in essence are cocooning everything, including our Christed self at this level, within our own cosmic heart. With great love, gentle ones, this union is very profound. Feel it very deeply. Very, very deeply. We're in a physical body now. We're somewhat confused with all that's going on. We ask ourselves to trust these shifts. And if there's a little discomfort, we've known much greater discomfort. And we agree that this Christ child is who we are. Light the fire and place this child in front of this fireplace with all the love and adoration this child shows you. You realize very, very quickly that this is who you have been. And in the school of hard knocks on this little planet, and certain other ones, much of this Christ child is case hardened and is not a part of our reality. But look at the unconditional love, gentle ones, as these eyes smile at you. Be touched by your true nature. At this moment it asks nothing except to be loved. With confusion. Feel the heart expand as you realize that I too am this child. I am as bountiful. I am as wondrous. I am of simple design connected to my God's heart. And between my God source and my Christ child, I see absolutely no separation. That golden thread becomes wider and wider and brighter between my God source, which is me, and my Christ itself, which is me. Wider and wider and wider. And I'm being reminded that this is beginning. As I reconnect with the Christ child within, with the totality of my being within. This is always what was meant in the Christ Jesus and others walked on it. The adoration of the Christ child is within, it is not an external matter. And that's how it is in this sense. My house has no ransom. And come with me, children. Allow the Christ child of the fireplace to expand its consciousness now and become internally in purity, in trust, in unconditional love. The eyes shine with hope and adoration, and is totally non-judgmental. Every part of your body expands as Christ child. Breathe it in, everyone. Breathe it in. Every part of your being becomes the Christ child. We remind ourselves what we were able to do and our own creative abilities as we enter profoundly and promise ourselves to remember this event as long as we are in physical bodies and beyond in transition. For the moment, all aspects of self we have in this cosmic room, we take the cosmic heart to the cosmic heart. It's a journey that we can take at any time, in any place. Breathe in, everyone. Let into the cosmic heart, into the Christ itself, into the omnipresent you, into all that is. And expand those circles out, and incorporate this cosmic day, and encourage other levels of consciousness also. To this cosmic connection. There is a great magnificence in your work. You're ready to come back into your cosmic heart, into your body. And take a bit of a break, please. What was I supposed to say?